Yo, new video. So I want to talk to you guys today about experimenting with recipes so that you can have options to be more consistent along your fitness journey. What I want to talk about today, kind of a little bit of an analogy that I was thinking about is if you take two guys, right? So let's say you take two guys, and you take them at the beginning of the year, January, they're both on the same thing, they're both on a fat loss journey for an entire year. You take two guys, right? The first guy is focusing on chicken, broccoli, and rice, and the second guy is focusing mainly on different recipes, right? He's putting his focus on fat loss recipes. He's not losing fat or anything like that, right? It might look like he's not even getting on the journey. He's just, looking for different recipes. He's experimenting, trying different foods, seeing what he likes to eat, what makes him feel full, what makes him feel more energized, versus this guy over here, which is he's losing fat. He's doing the chicken, broccoli, and rice, he's getting results and stuff like that. And it looks like he's gonna, win the race. Who's gonna be the most consistent? Like who's gonna, have the best results come to January, right? And for me, the way that I see it, bro, I think that number two, this guy right here, is gonna be the one who's gonna be the most successful throughout the end coming to December, right? Because understanding that, I think we all can agree that at a certain point, if we're eating the same shit, depending on whatever your goal is when it comes to fitness and stuff like that, whether it be for losing fat, building strength, building muscle, main gaining, whatever your goal is for fitness, having these types of recipes, having these different options is gonna help you become more consistent. Right now, I'm not a super successful business dude, but I also feel like, I don't know where I heard this, but there's these two dudes having a conversation saying he's trying to sell this guy something, but he's like, listen, brother, at the end of the day, I think we both can agree that in business, it's almost like the same thing in fitness, but in business, it's always good to have options. It's always good to have options so that when that day comes, when that day comes, you can stay in business, right? You can get help from these other different tools so that you can keep building, or you can fix, or you can repair this types of thing, right? And I feel like having good recipes and understanding what your body, likes and what will keep you full is gonna be far, 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 far more valuable long-term for your health and the permanent fat loss than not nowadays, but then, focusing on the traditional chicken, broccoli, rice, egg whites in the morning, freaking oatmeal, and beef, stir fry type of shit, you know what I mean? And things like that. I'm talking about the traditional way of doing things. Thank God we have people nowadays like Greg Doucette, who have anabolic cookbooks, you know what I mean, who can show you different recipes. Now, unfortunately, I'm not showing you different recipes, but I'll give you different examples of things that worked for me, and I'll lead you in a good direction where you can find and experiment different things. But also, you can just go on YouTube and look up different types of fat loss recipes, or just recipes in general. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to make anabolic meals, but it's always good to have the right tool for when the right time comes. So like I say, bro, invest in recipes, invest in experimenting in these kinds of things, even when you're not losing fat, even when you're not on a phase where you're doing a goal. Maybe you're just maintaining, maybe you're just living life. Every once in a while, try something different, try a different recipe so that you can have a better option in your tool, so that when that day comes, because that day will come, you know what I mean, that day where you get used to just everything and everything just sucks, it's always good to have something to be like, all right, let me try this from my tool shed, let me try this, so I could keep on hammering away, right? So it's pretty much what I want to highlight in this video, is to experiment, try different things, just like I like the analogy that I gave is, the guy who's not even losing weight, but focusing on the recipes and stuff like that, understanding what works for him, is probably going to have an easier time in the long term than the person who's, going on the traditional, you eat the same shit every single day. There is truth to that. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but I'm saying that at the end of the day, for modern times and stuff like that, it's not, most of us aren't competing in the fucking bodybuilding shows. So for the average dude, it's where we don't have that taste palette, or we're not even competing, but there's different things that we can do. There's options out there. It's just not only chicken, broccoli, and rice. It's not only that, and it does look cool to eat that. It looks raw and it looks fucking Spartan-like, but You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people aren't going to be worried about what you eat. They're going to be not worried. Like, people are going to be looking at what you look like, not looking at what you eat on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to care. You know, people aren't going to care about how you look. So, but at the same time, don't fucking kill yourself and go crazy. You know, I'm not saying but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Don't take it to the extreme. But like I said, options, experiment with recipes, and over time, you put these recipes away, you know, and you use them, you know, when it's time. You know, like for me, the two recipes I have stuck that I always think about, like for me, when I'm gonna burn fat, is the anabolic French toast and anabolic pizza and anabolic ice cream. Sounds unhealthy, but I mean, at the end of the day, they work tremendously for me. Thank God to Greg Doucette. And anabolic pancakes too. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're there. There's things out there that we can invest in, do shit to be more consistent, you know? So like whenever I get tired of chicken rice and stuff like that, you know, it's better to move towards anabolic French toast, you know, and do that rather than, okay, you know, the traditional way is like, okay, no, you just got to keep going through and you got to suffer more. There is something to that, but you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? So that's it for this video. Y'all take care. Experiment. Peace. Leave a comment. Much love.